Focus video 507. Yeah, I know it's been a little while, but I had to go through some trials since I've been releasing these focus videos. And I thank God for the adventure, because He has been blessing, and He has been revealing some things to me. And what He showed me was that I've been neglecting myself from trying to be too active with ministry, work, and home. So this video is going to be about how important it is to get your sleep, and if you're not, then how that can affect your focus. So the amount of sleep a person needs depends on many factors, including age, for example. In general, infants require about 16 hours a day. Teenagers need about 9 hours on average. Most adults need 7 to 8 hours a night for the best amount of sleep, although some may need as few as 5 or as many as 10 hours of sleep each day. Women in the first 3 months of pregnancy often need several more hours of sleep than usual. However, experts says that if you feel drowsy during the day, even during boring activities, you haven't had enough sleep. Does that ring a bell? Sleep deprivation debits. The amount of sleep a person needs also increases if he or she has been deprived of sleep in previous days. Getting too little sleep creates a sleep debt, which is much like being overdrawn at the bank. Eventually, the body will demand that the debt be repaid. We don't seem to adapt to getting less sleep than we need, while we may get used to a sleep deprived schedule. Our judgment, reaction time, and other functions are still impaired, aka a dysfunctional discerning spirit. Yeah. Consequences of too little sleep. Too little sleep may cause memory problems, depression, a weakening of your immune system, which causes an increase in your chances of getting sick, and it will increase in perception of pain. The dangers of sleep deprivation. Many studies make it clear that sleep deprivation is dangerous. Sleep deprived people who are tested by using a driving stimulator or by performing a hand and eye coordination task perform as badly as or worse than those who are intoxicated. Sleep deprivation also magnifies alcohol effects on the body. So a fatigued person who drinks will become much more impaired than someone who is well rested. Driver fatigue is responsible for an estimated 56,000 motor vehicle accidents and 1,500 deaths each year, according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Since drowsiness is the brain's last step before falling asleep, driving while drowsy can and often does lead to disaster. Caffeine and other stimulants cannot overcome the effects of severe sleep deprivation. All right? The National Sleep Foundation says that if you have trouble with keeping your eyes focused, you can't stop yawning, and you can't remember driving the last few miles, then you're probably too drowsy to be driving safely. The main finding is that the brain of the sleep-deprived individual is working normally sometimes, but intermittently suffers from something akin to power failure, says Clifford Sapper of Harvard University. The person bragging that he only slept 4 hours and still do great works, well, they are actually right with what they're saying. The only issue is that they have no brain power to steer them back to focus once they lose attention. Even worse so, sleep deprived people don't notice their decrease in performance. Naps. Some of the core benefits of napping is that you can restore alertness of the brain with just a few minutes of falling into a light sleep. Don't let your naps exceed 30 minutes max. Personally, 20 minutes have been proven to be an optimal timing for most. The last tip I find most critical is to make napping a consistent habit. Keep both the frequency, which is daily, and the time of the day the same and consistent. Develop a sleep ritual. Here is how and why. While habits are often seen as activities you have to force yourself to do, rituals are instead activities which you are pulled towards. When it comes to creating a sleep ritual, one of the key things is to have the last activity completely disengage you from the task of the rest of your day. Here are a few activities you can try to properly disengage. One of the things people are doing every night before going to bed is a 20-minute walk on the set, down a specific route and time. It is a great way to clear your head and be ready for sleep. For a specific way to develop your evening walk, try Khalil's speed exercise. Only the speed exercise. He has some crazy stuff out there. So, that's just me talking. All right. So, another part that has worked greatly is to read fiction books. Different from nonfiction books, it is a great way to completely disengage, enter a different world and mindset, and then be ready for a great sleep. Or you can read your Bible. I'm just saying. That's just me speaking again. All right. So the last point that has great success is to have a clear wake-up time by tying it into an immediate event afterwards. Good. So To get the best sleep of your life, you have to make sure that you're tired in every dimension. A key part of the book by Jim Lauer and Tony Schwartz about the power of full engagement is to be aware that for the highest quality of sleep, you need to be drained, both physically and mentally to some extent. Making sure that you have both at least one mentally challenging exercise as well as a physically challenging one can make all the difference to falling into a deep sleep to recover all areas of your body. And it'll keep you in shape, which is good. Yeah. These are the last few facts, which are very interesting. Women need a tad bit more sleep than men. The average is 20 minutes more, but some women may need slightly more or less than this. Why? Because a woman's brain is wired differently from men's and are more complex. So, their sleep needs to be slightly greater. Another interesting fact, the average adult human takes 14 minutes to fall asleep. So, when you hear the whole notion of 40 winks, yeah, that is so true because, after laying there for 14 minutes, it just seemed like it's forever. And then you just pop back up. It just seemed like you just literally nodded off and immediately waking up. So just want to give you these tidbits and let me drop some word on you real quick. So let's see what the Bible has to say about sleep. Psalms 127:2 says, "It is in vain that you rise up early and go late to rest, eating the bread of anxious toil, for he gives to his beloved sleep." We talked about naps in the passage. Proverbs 6:10, "A little sleep, a little slumber, and a little folding of the hands to rest." I love that. Now we're going to skip over to idolizing sleep. We don't want to do this. But Proverbs 20:13 says, "Love not sleep, lest you come to poverty. Open your eyes, and you will have plenty of bread." And to close out on the beauty of sleep, when we talk about Christ and his faith, in Luke 8:23 says, "And as they sailed, he fell asleep. And a windstorm came down on the lake, and they were filling with water and were in danger. Did Christ remain asleep? The disciples woke him. Christ arose, said, 'Peace be still,' to the storm, and it was so." So thank you guys for listening. I love you. God bless. Please subscribe, spread the word, and leave a comment. All right? God bless you. Focus.